this thing was a... And we're live. Oh, wait. Yeah, microphone's on. We're live. Welcome to episode 219 of the MailleWerX Chainmail Livestream. My name's Sean. I run MailleWerX.com, where you can find all your chainmail themed apparel and accessories, all the chainmail themed apparel and accessories that your heart desires. How's everyone doing tonight? What's going on? How was your weekend? What did you do? Hope you had fun. Hope you had a good time. I'm having an issue with my mouse. So, what did I do this weekend? Whole lot of nothing. It was cold, wet, rainy. Friday and Sunday. So we pretty much stayed home. But I've got to take a second here to clean my ball. If you don't know, proper ball maintenance is really important when making sure that your mouse... Oh, you know what? I'll deal with that in a second. Making sure that your mouse operates correctly. I don't know. I just cleaned this out a second ago. Let's try that again. See if we can get it to... Maybe I need like some ball grease. Right? Because it's not sliding in its track very well. For those of you who are curious, I have a Logitech something or other. I bought this. It doesn't seem as grippy. When I was first getting set up quite a while ago, and I must say, it's not on. Derp. I must say that it's been quite helpful. Alright, so what should we work on tonight? I am in favor of continuing this coif project. Mostly because I want to get it done. Or use up what I have left. Right? Go. Let's get some rings going here. Set that aside, get that out of the way. Okay. Let's get weaving. So these are the rings that... What size were these? They weren't Sleepy Song size, whatever that is. Yeah, something's going on with my mouse because it's not tracking correctly. Normally this will spin for days. Let's see if I can... Come on. Nope. See if I can see something down in there. I don't know what's going on with it. It's very... That's a little better. There we go. Alright. You can't tell, but my mouse is working now. I'm sure you were all very concerned. Alright. Where was I? I don't know. Do I have all my lights on? Was it Friday night? No, she came over. Thursday night, my mother-in-law came over. Trying to think of what all I did do this weekend. It was mostly sitting on social media and watching movies, I think, is the gist of my weekend. I did not get much done. Mostly because it was rainy and wet outside. And I do have some outside projects that I have to go work on. Hopefully this next week will give me some time to get those set up, and I've got to make a bunk bed that was, it's 2 beds, and I've got to turn it into 2, what do you call them, raised garden beds. That's what I'm making. So I've got to do that. I need to do it this week, so we can have a little growing space. Our last garden, too problematic. I'm not a grow type person. I don't have a green thumb. And by the end of the season, our garden would just be so overgrown with weeds. It just wasn't worth it. So I'm going to make some raised garden beds, and that will be our area. And then we're going to make some potato towers, I guess is what they're called. I don't rightly know. I'm told I get to make it though, so whatever. Get it done. Hopefully I can get out and do it this week. And my backyard is a swamp right now, so I'm not doing anything. And then I guess it's no mow May. They are wanting people to not mow their yards and let the little pollinator insects come out and get food from the dandelions or whatever. So I'm a huge advocate of not mowing your lawn. Mostly because I don't want to do it. And not because I don't like having a nice yard, right? I like having a nice yard. But not at the expense of the amount of time it takes me to get the yard looking good. Right, my neighbor, he's retired. All he does is work on yard beautification. Sit and work on mowers and snow blowers in his garage and drink beer, right? Not a bad way to live, but he's retired. I'm not retired. Speaking of me being retired, actually, no change on the VA website regarding what's going on with my claims. So I'm hoping this week I will get some answers. They were supposed to have it done last month, so we'll see. You're a huge fan of raised beds. You go sweet peas, tomatoes, carrots, and a ton of herbs. Oregano, thyme, lemon balm, celery, chives, onions. Potato cages are super easy, and you can make quite the pile of both red and yellow potatoes in a cage setup. Nice. So yeah, we might make 2 or 3 of those. Which I don't know, I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's a lot of, and they store in the soil over the winter like a personal freezer. Oh, okay. Interesting. A lot of food plants have burnt down randomly. Like 8 or 9 of them just had some kind of malfunction. A power plant had some type of explosion. And you got the president talking about potential famine in the richest country in the world a potential famine, right? So it's not, it's not me being a conspiracy theorist. These things, you can go and look them up. They all happened. And the president did talk about that, no matter how anyone may feel about him, good or bad. So I think I need to make some raised garden beds and get used to the taste of potato, and hope that Renee can grow some good stuff, because I sure as shit can't. With all the issues with global supply chains, right? Like, food scarcity is an issue. Hey James, how you doing? And no one should think that these problems that are global won't affect them. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? Alright. How's your inlay coming along, James? So yeah, I got 2 bunk beds, turning them into raised garden beds, hoping to do it next week. And then those will be my outdoor projects. All my big indoor projects are coming, they're culminating in completion, right? I've got the website's been updated. The last thing to be done to it is to add the link to the apps and the add the links to the Google app and the iOS app, right? So those will be up on the store here pretty soon. And then the website update will be done. Product descriptions are done. The Etsy store is up and running. Everything is just nearing completion all at the same time. It's nice, right? I did get the iOS up to on the Apple Play Store on Friday. I did get the legal paperwork last week to say that, yes, this is mine. Almost halfway done. Nice. Wish I could say that about my inlay. I should work on that some more. But, yeah, and then I have, I'm supposed to be talking to a company sometime this week about whether or not they can hire me with a medical exemption. And if they can, great. I don't know. I might, I don't want to take up a job, but all of that will depend on how much I get from the VA, right? So the if that company decides that they can hire me, right, I'm just going to hand all that information over to the lawyer I consulted and see if we can move forward with suing my previous employer. So that'll be interesting. And then that's really all I got going on. It took me 2 months. It's all almost done. So I'm pretty happy about that. I've got a bunch of bracelets to make, a bunch of necklaces, and a bunch of pendants coming. Get to work on those soon. So lots of stuff to do, and I can finally largely focus on making stuff for sale and working on new products and new product designs. So I'm happy. you know, because even if I have to go back to work and my free time gets cut down, you know, to what it was before when I was working regularly, I did have 2 months off where I was able to get a tremendous amount of stuff done. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then I need to go to a doctor. Once my VA stuff gets done, I get to apply to go see a doctor about all of my health conditions and all my claims that I put in for the VA and get those treated. So I do need to go do that. I avoid doctors like the plague. And my last one was great because he was far away and I never wanted to go see him. I never wanted to make the drive up there. And the VA is even farther away, so I will, over the course of the next year, I will spend my time going up there until my goal is to get 100% disability from the VA for a litany of issues. And so I got to go up there and talk to them pretty often over the next year, and then if I'm 100% certain I won't get 100% disability this time around, but by this time next year I should be able to have all my stuff reevaluated and I should be able to hit 90 or hit 100%. So that's my goal. And I will be really retired then. Not retired. Retired's not the right word. I will just not be working. So, I don't know. Cross your fingers, right? It would be really nice to continue this break I've had, to continue to work on MailleWerX.com, the apps, Chainmail products, right? Like, that's my goal. Just want to sit here and do this. And start a new career outside of the medical field. Oh. It's even like right now, my neck is killing me. I don't know if I slept wrong or what. Oh. So how's everybody else? What do you guys got going on? What are your plans coming up? My brother's coming home from Japan. Excuse me. He's coming home from Japan here over the summer, and I am gonna go out to Idaho and see him. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but it's towards the end of the summer. So my goal is to be able to get out there. We'll see how that goes. It's right around my kid's birthday, so. Oh yeah, we did drop the kid off at one of his classmates' birthday parties this weekend at a trampoline park. And so 2 hours there, some cake, pizza, and several jumps on the trampoline later. He was pretty wiped out for the rest of the day. So it was really nice. We're going to titanium lace weave with a cameo and throwing all my other projects to scream their songs with me until you bother to listen again. Nice. with titanium lace weave with cameo. There is a like action adventure laser tag go-kart place that we had a birthday party at for one of my son's classmates, and it's pretty awesome. Like, as an adult, I want to go hang out there, but not with the little kids around, right? I would like to go have an adult night, but for the kids, it's great. So, bumper cars, laser tag, go-karts, mini golf. I just want to go, and I should just have me and my kid go and hang out at least once. But I think he wants to do his birthday party there, so we'll see. Your second nonprofit creation meeting is tomorrow. Second nonprofit. What is your nonprofit organized around? Like, what do you guys do? And is it, I don't know how to phrase this. Second nonprofit creation meeting is tomorrow. So is this the second meeting for the first nonprofit creation? Or you now have two nonprofit, and you have two nonprofits, and this is your second meeting about it? Or there's a meeting about the second one there. So, okay, it's the second meeting about the first nonprofit that you're creating to revitalize and bring new business to town. That's cool. No, it's okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood. You lose context over text. So, you're trying to organize and get people to help build out a business community in your town. One nonprofit, second meeting. Okay. Nice. So, in a nonprofit, right, like a nonprofit has to use up all the funds on their stated desire or on their stated goal. Town's really run down. I can imagine that after the last 2.5 years now. That was kind of like, you know, a kick in the gut to anyone that was already riding a line between success and failure in their business. So whatever was struggling along already, right? Did it just get wiped out after the last 2.5 years? And then I have noticed that in my area, the way they zone stuff out here in Kenosha, so we used to have Chrysler. They used to have a big Chrysler plant. It's been shut down for years. And it was once a thriving area. But they had Chrysler shut the plant down, and then all of the, like, I don't know, rich parts of town in established neighborhoods got bought up by landlords, and they took all these larger mansion-style houses and turned them into multifamily homes. It's been on steady decline for 20 years or more. The buildings are really deteriorated. Yeah, kind of sounds like my town. 16 empty storefronts. Out of, you may not know this, but out of how many storefronts is that? So, there was a nice thriving area here, and basically they just created a they allowed for people to come in and create poverty communities. So it's been pretty rundown. Out of okay, so 3. That's a really small town too. I don't know. How many do we have? 100 maybe? How big is your town? Like 20,000? Yeah. Better in certain regards. You know, the whole burning the place down a couple years ago was not did not help anything. But where did we go? We went to the harbor market over the winter. A lot of people were sitting there vending. They were doing pretty good. 3,000 in the last census, and I think they counted the jail population. Okay, that's pretty small. Pretty small. %, over the poverty line? Yeah. Yep. I wonder if they're counting the inmates in the jail here. That would increase the population by a good bit. They have a decent criminal problem here in Kenosha, and it's not because everyone in Kenosha is a criminal or anything. We get a lot of traffic in between Chicago and Milwaukee, and so a lot of those guys get caught, get driven out of Chicago and Milwaukee, right? And on their way to the next major city, they do something stupid here, and they get caught here, and or they get caught in Racine. It hurts them getting tax money and other. It hurts them getting tax money and other benefits. It hurts who? Okay, 30% of the poverty line. It hurts them getting tax money and other benefits. The 66% under the poverty line, getting tax money and benefits, it hurts them in the long run because they have no incentive. They have no incentive to become productive because all their needs are being met by the government. Is that what do we? Who's getting hurt? It hurts the borough getting government money because that money comes with strings attached. Like I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just like in what way is all. Okay. Because are they getting money that keeps them financially viable, that allows them to not better the place? I've never understood the concept of boroughs, right? Like, that's a New York thing, right? Like, New York has boroughs. I always hear that. Because the population count, the borough is not eligible to get certain grants or other money. Okay. like boroughs and warrens, and like Hell's Kitchen's a borough, Queens is a borough, Long Island, is that a borough? I don't even know, but I don't know. It's like a section of a town, right? Like that's all it is. Section of a city. And the only reason I even know that is from Gangs of New York with Leonardo DiCaprio and Daniel Day-Lewis, which great movie. I think Last of the Mohicans is probably my favorite Daniel Day-Lewis movie, which if you've never seen it, it's awesome. Soundtrack is fire. I've often mentioned how my mom liked to watch The Sound of Music over and over and over again. Okay? I know all the words, I can sing all the lines. Right, like if you're going to trivia night, you know, and they're discussing The Sound of Music, or your Jeopardy section is The Sound of Music, I'm your guy. Okay? But my dad had a couple of movies he watched too. The borough is basically the town itself. Okay. And one of them was Last of the Mohicans, which is just a great movie from beginning to end. And then we would listen to the soundtrack by itself. Same with Sound of Music. Listen to the soundtrack by itself. Not even watch the movie. Okay? Same with, you know, Phantom of the Opera, Les Miserables, Chicago. Ooh, what's Moulin Rouge, right? What is the guy's name? Okay, so in Chicago, there's a guy, the husband. So Renee Zellweger shoots her lover or something, and the husband is John C. Reilly. And like Talladega Nights, Will Ferrell's counterpart in Talladega Nights, that John C. Reilly. What's the Johnny Cash parody he did? Walk Hard. So that guy plays a goofy guy in Chicago. He's the husband. Renee Zellweger's running around on him, and she ends up shooting her lover, and Richard Gere's trying to get her off, right? Get her off on the charge for murder. John C. Reilly sings a song called Mr. Cellophane. And it took me forever to realize it, but, you know, it's a song about how he's a guy that nobody really sees because he's see-through, like cellophane. And I was, you know, I didn't know what cellophane was when I was a kid. But if you ever go and watch Chicago, watch for that song, and it really applies to the movie. I'm Mr. Cellophane, nobody knows my name. I'm Mr. Cellophane. These rings are killing me. Like, I'm gonna have to order more in order to finish this, right? Like, that's just something that's going to have to happen. And I'm gonna tell TRL that if they send me a bunch of rings that aren't trued, and I have to bend each one again, I'm just gonna send it back. which I should have done with this and been like, no, this is unacceptable. Right? That's the only way people improve, is if they get reviews and they make stuff better. Like, everything I'm trying to do with my business. The biggest complaint I get is about shipping, and I completely understand. So that's really the next thing I get to tackle. There is a lot of there's a lot of stuff that I would love to be able to improve my business with, you know, like shipping and packaging and all that. But I need to have money. So the more money I make, the more stuff I'll have on hand that I can ship out directly, right? Instead of having to wait for stuff to be printed and then shipped, and you know. One day, we will get there. I'm feeling good about the amount of stuff that has gone on and getting stuff done over the course of the last 2 months, and my goal is to keep improving that. So I do hope I can get it all figured out. There is one option that I would really love is fulfillment by Amazon. And so what you do is you store a bunch of your stuff in Amazon warehouses, and then when it gets bought, Amazon ships it out with their like 2-day Prime service. That would be amazing. That is my goal. So but getting there is going to take quite a bit. Gonna have to make quite a bit in sales to get there. But now that all the housekeeping is done, and by that I mean stuff I should have done initially, but I didn't know to, like getting all the back-end SEO stuff done, right? Like I should have known to do that starting out. I didn't. Nor did I have any idea of where to start or how to do it properly. So I am thrilled that it's done. we will see how effective it is over the next little bit. Like, I don't plan, or I don't expect to see significant traffic changes, you know, for the 3 to 6 months before it needs to be reevaluated again. And that will, no. Over the course of the next 3 to 6 months, I should see changes in traffic, right? And the amount of traffic. So that's a start. But I have already started to see significant traffic changes. So I'd say the traffic is up around 30 or 40% just in 1 month. And a lot of times on Google Analytics, I'd go and look and see what countries these people are from that are viewing my store. And most of the time it was from like not English speaking countries. A lot of Vietnam. A lot of, where's another? Like Slovakia. Which is not to say that there aren't people in those countries that would enjoy chainmail. But they never, you know, they bounce from the website fairly quickly. Whereas now, my bounce rate is down around 50%, and people are staying on the website 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time. And I can see the number of page views go up. So people are coming in and they're looking. So something's starting to work. Now that the apps are up on Google and Apple, I've got 2 more things to do in the back end, and then I will be announcing them in as many chainmail groups that will let me. I think most of them will. Usually I don't have any problem sharing stuff, but I'm going to be doing a sale as well, so I'm looking forward to that. That is my goal for this week, is to get all that set up. Maybe have a sale by next week, or next week sometime. I think that's a good way to think about it. Ooh. Oh, my neck is gonna kill me tomorrow. I can feel it. Even with double checking to make sure that these rings are trued up, there are a ton of like barbs and edges, and it's just, you know, sharp. I'm gonna have to tumble it with some ceramic or something to get it all polished down and smooth and everything. I was looking up when the Bristol Renaissance Fair gets started, and it gets started July 4th? July 4th weekend? I want to go out to that this year. I think that'll be fun. I always have a good time when I go. My son likes to go. I would really like to go on a nice, cool weekend. Last year wasn't too bad. The time I went before that, it was awful. It was like 100% humidity and a 100-degree day. People were just melting all over the place. It's one of those things where everything's outside, and props to the performers who were moving in all this horrible weather. So I would like a nice cool weekend with a slight breeze, just enough to tickle your cheek as it goes by, you know. The little coolness. And I know that we had a tall ship festival 2 or 3 years ago. I don't think they're coming back this year. They might be the next year. That would be fun to go see again. It's a group of ships that are actual wooden ships, and they go around and visit different ports. You pay a little bit of money to get in, and you go and look at their ship. And the poor, well, I don't know if she's poor. I don't know how she thinks about it. But there was one girl wearing shorts with very hairy legs. I guess it's difficult to keep shaving supplies available when you're out at sea all the time, and it makes sense. But other than that, the ships were amazing. So, do you know what I neglected to do this weekend? I'm a terrible parent. I have my kid. I got him a subscription to like these woodworker kits, and the first one was a helicopter, and the second one's a marshmallow catapult. And we had all this time sitting around the house this weekend doing nothing. But he was playing video games. He was doing what he wanted to do. But I should have gotten him to work on that catapult with me. So that's my goal for the next week. Launch the apps. Get the get a sale up for the store. Get the raised garden beds done, and build a catapult with my son, because the next kit is coming, right? They come like once a month or something. So we'll see. We'll see if I can get all that done. Shouldn't be too bad, right? Like, the hard work is done. Oh, where'd that go? That jumped right out of my hand. You see it? There it is. I did come across a a comment that made me laugh. I was looking up some 3D print stuff. You know the EVA foam, you have to do one by one. Yeah, I've got someone over on Twitch hanging out. Hi, Chatty Andrea. Do you not have to do one by one? I don't know of any other way to do to make it. But I have been looking into that. And I saw some interesting stuff when I was looking at three-dimensional printing, 3D printing. There were, okay, so I was looking at the comment section of one of the EVGA foam things. It's a cutout of foam, and you cut out two strips and you link them together and it looks like 4-in-1. Which is pretty cool. It's a neat little trick. Then there was someone in the comment section talking about how you can't have chainmail. You can have chain, you know, a link by link chain, or you can have mail, a netted mesh of metal, but you can't have chain mail. And I was like, oh, that is just the most ridiculous comment in the world. I guarantee you that that person doesn't make chainmail. I don't know why that discussion persists with some people. Like, the most common vernacular for chainmail in Google search terms is chainmail, spelled with M-A-I-L, not even the fancy French M-A-I-L-L-E version. Historical labeling versus developing a language. Well, and the argument's not even correct, right? People are like, oh, it's mail because that's what the French called it. Well, the French didn't invent it. So who invented it and what did they call it? Like, if they based their argument off of that, okay, you know, whatever. But no, it's chainmail's an oxymoron. Okay. I'm just going to keep making the stuff, dude. I don't really care what you call it. In history and inventory weapons list munition guides, they are listed as mail or Gaberson. Gaberson. I've never heard that. Like, whatever the, you know, people who invented it called it. Obviously, that name didn't stick. The French name did. And, you know, I just, it was the tone of, and maybe it was how I read it. You know, you lose a lot of context in text, but the way I read it, I think was how it was meant to be read, you know. Some 12-year-old who watched 3 videos about chainmail on YouTube has an opinion, and they're going to correct everyone. More than French, English records of war, Japanese, India mail. Alright, James, have a good night. We're about to shut down here anyway. We did just wrap up that section. If you can't see, I am leaving this section open for my face. So we did just get all the way back around to where that's going to sit. And we'll be starting a new row later. Might as well start one right now. I got a few more minutes. Appreciate you hanging out, James. Okay, but it's not worth yelling about as we are not making authentic riveted mail here, are we? We are making modern chainmail. Modern chainmail for the distinguished gentleman. I don't know what I'm making. I like doing it though. That's why I keep doing it. I guess that's why I have a store, you know, based on the designs of all this stuff that, you know, dredging up iron from peat bogs and smelting iron and drying wire. If you didn't mine the ore yourself, you can't call yourself a real blacksmith. Get fucked. I love that argument. If you didn't skin the cow and tan the leather yourself, you're not a leather worker. If your children didn't work in the child mines digging up your lithium to power your electric car, you were not a real lover of the planet. Is that how that goes? Can't call yourself a real blacksmith so you can light your forge with a hammer and anvil? So you can light your forge with a hammer and anvil. What is that, like getting spark off the anvil? Is that what's going on there? You can't call yourself a real human unless you were birthed out the anus of a whale. But all these qualifications to just ridiculous qualifiers to be or call yourself something. And I don't know. It's like I said, it's by the equivalent of a 12-year-old watching 3 videos on a subject, and that's all they know about it, and they're going to go around and correct everyone now. Not twiddling sticks, not flint and steel. You hammer a 1/8 rod from cold to red hot by a hammer blow alone and light the leaves in your hearth. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have seen that done where they get an 1/8 of an inch rod white hot with just a hammer and anvil. I don't have one to play with, so I just have to watch YouTube videos and make quirky commentary correcting people saying they're not real blacksmiths because they're doing it wrong. You know. It is traditional technique, but most modern smiths use bick or matches or a striker. Yeah, because it's easier. I would too. That's why I have other people make my rings. Because it's easier. And I'm lazy as fuck. 6 hammer blows and you can light your forge. Nice. Show off. £3-pound hammer, 2-foot handle. Jesus. Yeah, that'll get it warmed up. You know, if you put your forge in a vacuum and then just continually increase the pressure, eventually it would get hot enough to light itself on fire. And if you don't do it that way, you're not a real blacksmith. Guy that taught you said you can start smithing at the same time the hammer strike take to light the forge. You take more than 12, you're making charcoal, not swinging a hammer that day. Interesting. I guess that incentivizes you to get good at that, because who wants to make charcoal? He would start at 3 a.m. Why? That sounds awful. I don't want to be awake ever at 3 a.m. I have pulled too many all-nighters, worked too many night shifts, done too many things staying up until 3 a.m. I don't ever want to be conscious at 3 a.m. ever again. I certainly wouldn't start my day that way. So I have my set time. I'm in bed by 11. I'm up at 6. I'm not getting up any earlier, and I'm not staying up any later unless I have to. Old 70-year-old grouchy smith. He could carry the rod in 3 strikes and light his pipe. Nice. That's funny. Who needs fancy modern industrial applications like Bic lighters to light my pipe? Alright, I think that's gonna... We've got enough of a start on this to tell where I'm working. So, like I said, a couple more things on the back end and the apps should be ready to go. And then I am off to the races. Raised garden beds, marshmallow catapults, all that fun stuff. Ooh. Be sure to take a stretch if you're working on a project. Now. All right. So once I announce that the app is out, please download it. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I can improve it or make it worse. I mean, add some stuff. Don't put an eye out. Peeps make good targets to shoot at. Ah, okay. I will. You know, we did not get any peeps this year. I think this is my first peepless Easter in forever. Nobody at our house likes the damn things. I might go buy some just to launch them out of the catapult. All right. Okay, so I'll be back tomorrow night, 9 to 10, where we will work on something. Progress is being made day by day. Stuff gets done on the website. Stuff gets done with all the rings that I have down here that I'm trying to get through. One day at a time. It's coming and going, and we're knocking stuff out. Microwave peep jousting. You don't eat those things? No. God, they're awful. Oh, all right. Thank you everyone for hanging out. I do appreciate all your input and commentary and just regular contributions. Please don't forget to like and share the stream. Those are free, and that's a free way to help me out. It is actually really impressive when a couple people share the stream. The reach you get is huge. So please do share and tell all your friends and family about the glorious wonders of chainmail and how awesome it is. Be sure to let them know that I'm sitting here making some chainmail, and they can come hang out with me. In the meantime, I'm going to go to bed. You all have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow night. All right, and if you need me sometime between now and then, you know where to find me. You all have a wonderful evening. Have a good night.